Namaskaram everyone, welcome back to the 62nd episode of Master Unreal series, and in this episode we are going to make our interface lightweight. So in the last episodes of interaction system, you had multi-tap system, you had dynamic hold, you had dynamic hold and release. Everything was part of the single interface. So this video is dedicated to show you that if you arrive at a solution which is good and you overuse it without considering the distributed aspect of the development, then it can become a nightmare. And I'm going to give you a small glimpse of that nightmare in this one, where we made a mistake very much intentional in the interaction system episodes, and that was we used a single interface to do all kind of interactions. It was your multi-tap, it was your hold and release, it was the dynamic hold. Everything was part of one interface. And now I'll show you that how we are struggling in case of pickable. So that is the problem that we are trying to address, and I want to show you that you should always consider the distributed aspect, which means you should make your components lightweight and small as possible so that it does not contain anything more than what it is used for. Okay, so we are going to understand the overall hierarchy system and different types of interactions the games have. And right after that understanding, we will refactor and clean our implementation of different interactions that we did. So not many of you will like this, I'm pretty sure, because I recently received a comment that why I'm not giving the best approach in the very first attempt. So I want to tell you that this series is not here to give you the best system or best approach in the first attempt. It will not happen. You can drop the series. The core goal of this series is to show you how development actually happens, how the thinking and the logical mind of a developer evolves as they craft solutions, as they do hands-on practice on different projects. And the core goal is to understand that thought process so that you can find out solutions on your own. You'll not find a YouTube tutorial every time. So this series, it is here to make you think like a developer and find out your own solutions so that you can do good job in a long run, not just for temporary purposes. Okay, so enough of this motivational talk. Let's get into the presentation and understand different types of interactions happens in the game and how we will make the interfaces based on that. Okay, let's start. All right, so let's start our interface design for our interactables. Now, in most of the games, the interaction is of two major categories or types. First is your animation-based interaction, and second one is your non-animated interaction, which means you just press and the thing happens. Now, from the animated interaction, you have multi-tap. Like for example, if you open the door, you have to play an animation. Now, that type of interaction can also have multi-tap. Like in the first tap, you open the door by your hands. In the second tap, you kick. Another one is the hold or dynamic hold. For example, you push the cabinet, so you have to hold the E. In that case also, it is an animation-based interaction. And another situation is you sit on the bench and then you release the key, which means you are still interacting, but you only had to press E for a specific duration and then you are good. So these are under the animated interaction category. Now, multi-tap includes opening the door, kicking the door, or pulling the lever. So these are the animation-based interactions that falls under the multi-tap category. Now in the dynamic hold, we have push cabinet or sit on the bench. These interactions we have already done, except this lever one, we will do it later. Okay, and now we go to single tap. So here you have something like pickup. For example, you see an item, you pick it up, and that's it. You see a small notification in the right that you have picked this item, and this is the stack count. That is the usual gameplay UI these days. But the idea is you just press and you pick up. Second one is the timeline base. So for example, you do not have an animation based interaction. You have a timeline based interaction where the character is not doing anything. The actor itself is doing its own thing when you interact. So, for example, you press E, the window opens. Your character is not interacting. So, in this situation, it can execute the logic of interaction independently, which means your character can move or whatever things it can do, it will do. Okay, so this is the entire scenario of how the interactions will work out. Now, let's have a look how the interfaces will be divided based on these categories. Okay, these are the examples. These are our main um, use cases where we have to divide the events. So first, in the interaction, every interactable, doesn't matter if it's animation based or it's a single tap, which means non-animated, everyone will have on interact and is available to interact. Because first of all, is available to interact, you have to check if someone is already interacting, then you cannot do that at the same time unless that interactable supports it. So if you are picking up, if someone else picked up, the other person cannot. So this plays a very vital role. And whenever the interaction begins, on interact will be fired, no matter if it's animation based or non animation based. Then we go to animation interaction. So when the animation is playing out, there are three core events that can happen. One, that the animation completes successfully, which means the interaction is over. Second, let's say you are doing the interaction and you were interrupted, maybe intentionally or maybe by external force or entity. So, for example, if you look at yourself, you press once to open the door, but as soon as you press again, you are changing the animation to kick the door. So in that case, this is an interruption of the ongoing interaction, and you are bringing in another type of action in the picture. So this plays a very vital role. Then there is a on denial. For example, you pressed once, you started the interaction, and now you passed the window. In that case, once the window of pressing the key again is gone, we should tell that now you cannot do any more interaction. You have to wait till this finish. Or there could be another situation where interaction has now started, you cannot exit. So in this case, you cannot interrupt the ongoing interaction. So there is a event of denying when the player do something. In case of multi-tap and dynamic hold, these three plays major role. We have multi-tap, so you will have tap. In the dynamic hold, you will have hold interact, which is something you have already done. In case of pickup, you will do handle pickup. Okay, so if any interactable has to become a pickable or pickup, then they should have this handle pickup functionality. Now, why I'm saying that is because if you have seen the God of War, some interactables, or sorry, some pickables, you pick like that. Just click on it and it will pick. In some pickups, it destroys that pickup to obtain something. Like, for example, the health stone. The Kratos character uses his axe to break it to get the heal, right? So in that case, we are making a dynamic behavior here. So in this situation, you will add the pickable interface and you will also add the animation based interface. So it's not like that if you go here, you cannot go here. These interfaces are independent. You can make a hybrid or you can go with them individually. That's completely your design call. But there is a room for both. Okay, so these are the 3 or 4 major interfaces that we will design. All right, so I'll hide myself here so that you can see this bottom right area. And we are going to go in our blueprints, BLIs, and here we will create a new folder and I will call this interaction. But before we go further, first we will detach this BLI interactable interface from all the interactables, because now we have to make it lightweight. And right now, if you want to make a pickable interactable, you have to add all these 10 functions which are not needed. So we just need on interact and the is available to interact. So we are going to go for all the architectures that we created from which you can interact. So we'll go to bench. Under the class settings, you will see there is a cross option. If you clear, it will ask you, would you like to transfer the interface functions to be part of your blueprint? And you are going to say yes, because otherwise you will lose all the nodes. So we'll say yes, and we are good now. So compile, it's okay. Let's keep it there for now. And let's go back to the cabinet. And we go in the class settings again, cross, say yes. Okay, this one happened quite nicely. Let's go back to the door. You just need to work on shooting range and single door base. This was our backup, so now we no longer need it. Let's start from the base class. I'll go to class settings and I'll remove it from here and I'll say yes. And since we have derived the shooting door and the door with lock, we will say yes. Okay, so now you can see these on interaction over interrupted has become a normal event. So I'll say compile, save all. Okay, so bench has some issues, we will fix them. So let's go back to the fence. No, fence is not something we have to do. I think it was Windows. I'll go here. This is something we created in the level design when we were building the procedural building generator. So I'll quickly go in class settings and I'll remove it from here. And I'll say yes. Okay, save all. All right. Okay, and we hit compile. Great. So BLI Interactable is resolved. What I'm going to do now is go in my blueprints, BLI's interaction. I'm going to create a new interface and I'm going to name it BPI. I have been naming wrong in the last couple of months, but it's never too late to do the corrections. So I'll change this to BPI, that states blueprint interfaces, and this one would be interactable. Okay, earlier it was BLI, now it's BPI. If you are using BPI, then you can name this interface something else, and later on we will revert back. Okay, so now duplicate this one and name it BPI tap interact. Then we'll duplicate it again by pressing Ctrl D, and I'll call this hold interact. And I'll duplicate again and I'll call this BPI anim interact. And I'll press save. All right, so now we are going to split these events into these 4 different interfaces so that our main interactable interface becomes lightweight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this window out so that we can read the function names here. Okay, and I'm going to go back to BPI interactable and let's do it quickly. We need on interact. Then we need is available to interact. And let's go for set highlight in this one only. All right, and these are the 3 events. Now let's check their parameters. First is the on interact. Instead of writing instigator, we will name it interactor so that it's easy for us to read. What I can do is increase the application scale so that you guys can read it better. And I'm going to go for actor object reference. Then in the is available to interact, there is a interactor again. I added the pin from here, okay? And I'll add the output pin and I'll say results, which is a boolean. And then we have set highlights, which is b show outline. Great, so that's all you need for the item to make it interactable. Let's go and fix this change first. I'll go to bench. I'll minimize this. I'll go to class settings and I'll add this BPI interactable. Once I do that, okay, first I have to compile this interface, save it, go back, and I have to compile, and you can see the interface has appeared. Great. So we have to double click on the on interact, and this was, let's cut it first and let's find this event there. So we paste it and we go here and we go here. Let's remove it. Then next up we have is available to interact. So I think this was the one. So I'll click on it, connect it, and I'll delete this. Then we have the set highlight, and there are two events, set highlight, event set highlight. So I'll locate this one and I'll connect it here and here, and I'll remove this. Great. So this is done. All right, we also have to do it here. So set highlight call function, and I'll connect this. Okay. So compile, and we will add this in a second. But this is done. We will go to now cabinet. Let's go in class settings, add the BPI interactable. I think it's because you have the functions already here. So what I'm going to do is name it interact1, and we are going to go in the event graph from here and we'll locate set highlight, which is nothing right now. So let's delete it. We will look for on interact. We will rename it to on interact1, and we will hit compile. And now if we go to class settings, we will be able to add the interface. Okay. You can see the events are up. So let's copy this entire logic of is available to interact and paste it here. So this goes here, this goes here. Facing direction, create the local variable, and we are good. Connect the result here. And this one here. Okay, once you have it, what you can do is delete this old function, and we can go to on interact one. We can delete this and double click on this on interact. Let's locate that deletion space and paste it right here. Save all, and you can replace it with on interact call function, and delete this one, connect this. Right, so cabinet is done. Let's go for door in the single door base, event graph, and we are going to do the same thing. Name it 1, on interact, name it 1. Now compile and go to class settings, add the BPI interactable, compile. And now here what you can do is first go to on interact, double click on it, cut it, and let's locate the on interact right here, and I'm going to connect it. Then we are going to cut this is available to interact, paste it here, delete this function, compile, and there we have one issue. So let's search for on interact. And we are done. Okay. Let's fix it here. Okay, and there is a error in the is available to interact. Let's rename it, or maybe double click on it first. And I will cut this logic, and I will delete this, and I will search here in the override is available to interact, and I will paste this logic again and connect it with the result. Okay, now you compile, save all, it's good. Go for Windows. And the same thing, we go on interact, we name it 1, in the is available to interact, go for 1, and go to class settings, first compile, then go for BPI interactable. That's the issue. What happens when you go full rushing in and now the refactoring is costing your time. So I'll go here and I'll go for on interact. So I'll expand interfaces, cut it, and paste it right here. And I'll plug this in the instigator. Okay, so we copy, or I mean cut and paste it in the new function, delete it, and we are compile. And let's fix this on interact call function. Right. Great. So you have fixed this one. Now let's go for interactions again. And now we'll be fixing the tap interact quick. So I'll go to tap interact. And this one requires only one function. That is your interact. So let's add the interact. And let's check what is the requirement. First is the interactor. So interactor, and it's going to call actor object reference. Then we are going to go for tap count, and this one is the integer, and then whether it is implemented or not. So we go for boolean. Okay, compile and save all. And now I'll go to single door base because this is the one which has the tap based interaction, and this is the logic. I'll rename it to interact one. Now it will be easy. So we save all, compile, and we cut this entire logic. We go to interact function and we detach this pin here. We paste it right here. Now we are going to connect this and this, and we are going to remove this one, and we are going to check this because double tap and single tap are implemented, other one is not. So compile, save all, and now you can delete this interact one. You are all good. And that's it. For cabinet and bench, I think we do not have it, so it's fine. But I think for Windows we do. So let's check. Yeah, there it is. So let's cut this node and delete this. Go for class settings and I'll say tap interact, and I will paste it here. And I'll say implemented, compile, save all. And that's all we need for the tap. Okay, now let's go back and do the hold interact. Let's bring the window again. We need get hold time. Let's rename it to get hold duration. Then we get hold interact. These are the two functions, and let's see, hold time requires two output pins. We'll create two output pins. We'll say B is implemented, and we'll say hold time, or let's say hold duration. Float. Then we have hold interact. For that we need the actor, that is your interactor. Great, compile, save all, and minimize this. Go back to your bench, and there you go. So you have 1 second, so just keep this in mind. And then you have the hold interact, which is right here. Okay, so these are two things. First I will remove this, and I'll remove this. And I can remove this interact because it's no longer needed, and remove this get hold time. Compile, save all, class settings, and go for hold interact. Now here you will get the function. Go for 1 second, make sure it is true, and go for hold interact, cut this, and go all the way where you deleted the event, connect it, just write this. Okay, these two, we'll fix it later. We have done bench. Let's go to cabinet and I'll delete the interact. Get hold time, it's 0.2 seconds. So, okay, 0.2 seconds, and hold interact is right here. So I'll delete this and I'll add first compile and then add hold interact. Now you can go for hold duration, that's 0.2 seconds, set it to true, hold interact, cut it, go to the place where you deleted the node, that's right here, and connect it. Okay, compile, save all. So bench is done, cabinet is done, door is done, and we are done. Okay, so whole interact is done too. Now we can go for the last one, that is the anim interact, which is the core of the animation based interaction. Now let's start naming the events. On interaction over, then we have on interaction interrupted, on interaction on player ready, then we have abort interaction, then we have on action key released. Okay, I think that's it. The set highlight, we'll move it to the interactable, but let's finish this first. In the on interaction over, we need the interactor pin, so we'll say interactor, and I'll change this to actor object reference. Copy this variable name, go to interrupted, add, paste, and just double check you are not missing anything. Then we have on player ready, which is again the interactor. Then you have abort interaction that needs a result. So add the output pin and say result, change this one to Boolean. Then we have on action key released, which has interactor again. And I'll change this to actor object reference. Okay, now this one is gonna take a second extra. I'll go to bench, and what I am going to do is rename these events to over 1, interrupted 1, on player ready 1, on interact. Now it's fine. Yeah, okay, we compile, we go to class settings, and we add anim interactable or interact. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now if we compile and we go to here, double click on these. So over goes here. Interrupted goes here. Player ready, let's cut it, and there. You can also double click on the events to get there. Compile, and let's fix these. Now you go for on interaction over, go for call function, and you can delete this, connect in the interactor. You can go for on interaction interrupted, call function, delete it, it goes in interrupter. Great, compile, and we have one last, that is on interact. Save all. Now let's go to cabinet, see the class settings, add the anim interact. Let's rename the events. Interrupted becomes 1, over becomes 1, action released becomes 1, player ready becomes 1. Okay, now let's click on interaction interrupted, over, player ready. These are three events, cut them, and let's paste them here. Interrupted goes here, over goes here, player ready, we have to find it right here. Compile. Let's fix these. On interaction over, on interaction interrupted. So we are going to connect with this one, delete it. This one is going here, and we are set. Copy these two and locate if you have any other place. No, we are good. Save all, and now you can delete. Okay, we have to handle this on key released, and you connect it here. Delete this one, compile. So now we can delete. Okay, we have deleted already, right? Great, compile, save all. There is a bot interaction which has nothing, so you can delete it. Right, let's go back to bench. There was a bot interaction. We need to cut this and get it in this one. We'll set it to true in the results. Okay, and you can get rid of this. Compile. Okay, once it is done, you can delete the old function and you will be good. Let's connect it again. Compile, save all. So if you click on about interaction, now this is the function. Great. We are done with the bench. We are done with the cabinet, and we are left with the door. Let's go to base and let's rename them to 1, interrupted to 1, player ready to 1. All right, let's double click on this, and first of all compile class settings and go for anim interactable. Compile, go for on player ready, add event. Okay, and delete this. Then we go for over, we search for event on interaction over, and we connect this. Then we go for event on interaction interrupted. We go for this one and we compile. Now let's resolve the errors. On interaction interrupted, that's in the call function. I'll connect this in the interrupted. Then we have on interaction over, which we keep here, and remove this. Completed. Copy these two. Let's go here. So it goes in the over. You can hold shift to detach and then attach. Remove this one. Then we have false here. Compile. Right. That's it. Okay, let's check the door with lock. I think it should be good. Compile. Right, let's save all, and I am going to go, and inside the BLIs I'm going to right click on this interactable, and I'm going to go for reference viewer. Now this will allow me to see who are the people that is using it. So single door is of no use. What I can do is go to bench, door, and I can remove this single door. Don't delete the base, okay? Great. So let's go back, save all, refresh. Now we are interacting in these classes. Let's go for gameplay ability, browse to asset. we were calling some functions here. So one is available to interact. So we have to correct it. We should say is available to interact from the BPI interactable. We are no longer going to use this, and I'm going to connect the owner, the interactor, this one in the true branch, like this. Okay, let's go further. Then we have the get hold time. We have to use get hold duration. Remove this. Then we have tab. We are no longer going to use it. We are going to use it from the BPI tab interact. So go for that one. Count goes here. Owner goes in the interactor. Pin goes here. Compile. Then we have the hold interact. So hold interact go from BPI. You can see BLI, BPI, interactable, owner, and we delete this. Compile, save all, go to interact, back to BLI interactable, refresh, still it is using. So let's see where, okay, on interaction denied is fine. So on action key released, we have to go for on action key released from anim interact. This one goes here, this one goes here. We delete this and connect it. Compile, save all, go back, refresh. This is gone. Character default, let's browse it. And let's see. Yeah, there. So go for on player ready. BPI, not BLI. So correction, this should be in the interactor and this should be in the target. Okay, compile. Next up, I think we are good. Go back, save all. BLI interactable, refresh. These three nodes are remaining. Go to interaction manager, browse to asset. Okay, the set highlight. So we have to go in our interaction and BPI interactable. We have this function here. We'll use that set highlight from the BPI interactable. Duplicate this. Right, compile, save all. Remember, we are checking BLI interactable. Now we go for BP player, which is the last. And now let's see. There you have it. Abort interaction from the anim interact. And please connect this to interactor and this one to target. Compile, save all, and BLI interactable. Now we are left with 30%, which was our backup. So now we have successfully migrated everything. So now what we can do is go back and delete this BLI interactable once for all and replace this one with BPI interactable. Save all, and we are done. Okay, let's test it out. I'll go to level 1. And we have our 3 interactables right here. Okay, it's giving us error. Let's disconnect it. the third person copy we had. Let's have a look. Single tap works. Door with lock is working. Okay, this is not what I was expecting. Stop it. So the reason it's not working is because if we go to character default, you have this on interaction over and interrupted. You are passing the gameplay event to actor, but you have not provided the actor. So first of all, the interaction is not ending, and that's the reason the trace is not appearing back. So I'll just go and get the reference to self so that I can send the event to this character and the ability system will listen to it. Another reason why that camera is being inside a mesh or whatever it is, if we go to single door base, when you interact, you are saving instigator, which is wrong. It's there because of that bad naming we had, and that's the reason I changed it to interactor. So what I want you to do is just get this variable instead of getting this instigator, and I'll connect this, right? And compile and play. And now you can try single tap. That's your lock. All right, let's try double tap now. Okay, it is working. Great. So let's try the push cabinet. Hold E, and I'm still holding, and I'm going to release now. So you can see it's working, and I can go to bench, hold E, and I'll sit. I'll press W to get up again, and we are good. Okay, so your all the systems are just working fine, and that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this made you understand that sometimes if you came up with a good solution for something doesn't mean you should overuse it without looking at the other case scenarios. So in this situation, we distributed the work of interaction in different interfaces. And since we have reached the time limit of this episode, we are going to continue the pickable in the next episode, and we will also continue our inventory system logic in the next one. So like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and if you like my work and you want to support the channel, then the Coffee and the Patreon link is in the description. We support both one time and the membership option, but please talk to me before buying any membership on Patreon. Okay, so I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, take care. Bye bye.